Welcome to our second part of United Souls for a Divisive Generation. I'm very glad to be here and discussing on our live feed on Instagram and Facebook, and also will be posted on our Unity Flow podcast for the PulveREDU network. We're happy to go ahead. Welcome. I see some people waving. Thank you so much. Please stick around. We're going to keep this short. And if anyone has any feedback or questions, it's very much appreciated. Remember, there is a link that we posted on the Facebook for you guys to sign up. And it's going to be for another 2 weeks from today at this time, so 8:30 on Eastern. And it will be for the third part of this course. Today, we're just going to do a short version, being that, the Zoom and everything didn't work out exactly. But next week, in 2 weeks from now, will be a beautiful, beautiful course and part 3 of United Souls, something which is so relevant right now. We're all struggling with feeling connected to each other because of the Corona challenge, and it hasn't subsided. For example, I had a friend who's in Dubai. I would love to go visit him. And just as I found out that I had Corona, at some point I got blood tested, and thank God, I think it was during the time where I was at home for the many weeks at the beginning. So the blood test proved that I had the antibodies. I couldn't travel, not because of that, but I couldn't travel because they closed Ben Gurion. And, this is the kind of situation that we find ourselves in. The approach has to be, rather than finding ourselves in, as Rabbi Lord Sachs once said, quoting the Lubavitcher Rebbe, we have to do something about it. So the part of this, thank God, this course is to inspire us to change, to come to an awakening, real inner work. We already did in the first 2 parts, the intro and part 1. We went through much of the course of the key to the course, which is not just to introduce the concepts of United Souls. You have to go back. It's posted on Instagram and obviously our Unity Flow podcast, and also on our different channels, YouTube and other places. But the main point is you join into the PulveREDU, the educational aspect, and you can interact through the Zoom, and we can really grow this together. So the intro, main focus. Sorry, I'm just making sure this is, there we go. A minute. Okay. I'm going to share that on Facebook. Sorry, just the first time I've used this machine for such a thing. Excuse me one moment, everybody. Yeah, that's all good. Okay, we're just going to go live again on Facebook. Yep. There we go. Thank you, everybody, for being patient while we get that ready. Okay, amazing. So now we're live again on Facebook. This is part 2 for Facebook, part 3 of the course. I don't know, there's some broadcasting issue. All good in the hood. We basically went through in the first part and second part the concept of being proactive. We've been discussing it in our Muna as our future classes, our weekly class, Unity classes, and also on our podcast, Unity Flow, Relationship Flow. These are the 3 places you guys can join on the audio platforms. We now have SoundCloud as well, thank God, which we'll be putting the classes up there at some point. Right now we're putting up the Amuna class, where we have the QA, we have special guests like Daniel Fenster and all the other people. So, but we'll get to SoundCloud there as well, please God, these classes. But the main concept and the key of these classes, as we said, is the foundation is being proactive, is being loving, is understanding you have this soul level. Once you're in tune with the soul level, then you're going to be able to ignite all the other parts of yourself. For example, creating a mission statement, being able to have values, goals, and dreams. These are an extension of your soul, of your good nature, of your spiritual being that's within. And the more a person understands this, the more a person's in tune with that soul level, which takes a silencing of the noise around you. It takes a focusing of your being, your inner essence, to your purpose and mission, to understand what you're fulfilling by doing your mission, to have more of an awareness of what you were put in the world for, and to be inspired, be on fire, to have energy to bring that into action. The whole concept of unity inspires projects, as I explained in the first part as well, is the idea on the thought level to understand that really we're all unified, to learn about your soul, how it's unified and united with other souls, and our soul has a mission, and bringing those concepts through the thoughts into how you speak, into being creative, to putting out music or art, or helping empower others who are creative, which is something I try to do, and bring that out into then projects. That's action. So it goes through the thoughts into your speech, into your action. That's united, or unity souls, united, unity inspires projects into reality. The whole point is it should affect your daily schedule. It should come down. So that's once we've been proactive, we're just going over now, God being proactive, and then we're building that mission statement. We're building an inspired goal and plan of what our life is about. Then we can then take it to the next level of the third part of bringing it into our life effectively. And as I mentioned in my Amunez Our Future class, and I heard from the podcast from Tim Ferriss, is it's also not just about time management, but it's also about energy management. To be able to bring together your life in a way that the energy flow is good. We speak a lot about this concept of flowing, that all the energy and love and positivity, all the good emotions, bringing that into your goals, into that plans, into your schedule, into your daily life. These are the first three foundational pillars that will give you ability of Torah, Voda, Gumin, Chesronim, or the idea of basically cleansing your inner system so that then you can be ready to go public, because you can't go public, as Stephen Covey so well wrote in his 7 Habits of Truly Effective People, or Highly Effective People. I changed it, 10 Habits of Truly Effective Jews, or Jews, of people. The idea of being effective in a true way, that's going to take ability for a person to really awaken that passion, like Tony Robbins says, the giant within, that tremendous energy, that love, that power that exists in the world nowadays to accomplish and to succeed, to bring it into your life in a real way, and to then express it outwardly. So the first things first is you have to deal with your inner stuff. You have to face yourself. You have to take care of yourself. You have to be real, that it's not always going to be so easy to do that. And that's why we're doing this course, to help you understand that once you're in tune with the United Souls, you're now already a soul. You are aware of your soul level. You're understood that when you speak spiritually, you speak prayer, you learn spirituality, you're internalizing, you're connecting and feeding the soul. Just like the body needs nourishment of food, water, and just general relaxation, the soul also needs nourishment of prayer and Torah, spirituality. We need to learn things, and then we need to also connect to other souls to have an experience of humanity that's healthy. And that's why, once again, this Corona challenge is so difficult, because we've been switched from what we're generally up to doing in a normal, easy way, like it was just standard life of being interactive with thousands of people all the time. For me personally, it was in the music business, entertainment business, in the Torah world, constantly connecting and traveling and helping artists and all kinds of scenarios. I would have for sure visited England at least twice in the last year, and for sure America, North America, Central America. That was the plan. Hopefully South Africa. There was loads of plans of what we're supposed to do. Instead, we've moved to this platform of Zoom. That's one of the appreciations I have to Jeff Pulver and those kind of people, and Lauren Pulver and all the people there in PulveREDU, and the Pulver like Zulas and all this stuff. It gives me opportunity to talk to people on Zoom. So it's almost a little bit of a taste of what it's like to be in person with people. But once again, you can be connected to people, but if you're not like in tune with yourself, so it's very good just to talk to people, but the point is that you have to understand that connecting with other souls is awakening deeper aspects of yourself. It's a reflection of aspects of your being, and the feedback and the connection. That's one of the reasons these live feeds and doing these online, Baruch Hashem, these online courses is so helpful, because you grow. So, for example, today we didn't have a big turnout in PulveREDU, so that we're moving it to 2 weeks from now. But the idea that you guys can sign up and join in, and hopefully bit by bit it grows, with patience and determination, not to give up, not to feel like, oh wow, well, where is everybody? All these people that I've, loved and connected with. I was the midnight rabbi for 5 years on the street with a lot of students, and I was there up all night for people, and I'm asking now just for an hour of their time to join me on this journey, or this spiritual journey, or this course, so that they can get more in touch with themselves in their daily life right now. Not asking that much, really, if you think about all those years of dedication. But this is the opportunity that, whether people give back or not, I did my mission. I fulfilled my purpose. That's why the first three pillars are so important. I did what I had to do at that time. I was focused on helping people for many, many years all night. I still am. And we're doing it now through the Munna classes and Unity Inspires projects, constantly bringing alive this inner desire to be more soulful and connected to people, and to awaken that people have so much power and potential, and not to allow it to fall to, God forbid, to a lesser expression, or even worse, no expression. Because the soul wants to give, it wants to connect, it wants to give more. Shabbat shalom, shalom, thank you. It wants to connect more than we can even understand or be aware, because its oneness wants to manifest. The United Souls aspect wants to manifest. And that brings us now to where we're at, once we're in tune with that, to then go from the public, the first few classes we already did, and you can go back and listen, from the private to the public level. So now go from within outwards. Now you can start to take it public. Now you can start to connect to the larger world once you've done that inner work. And that's why the next, say, 3 parts, well, we're only going to do 2 today, of my course, because we're pushing it into 6 instead of 10 parts. Really, it's meant to be 10 parts. So we're only going to do not one each part. We're going to do one course. We're going to do one course and squeeze 2 parts in, so it's compressed. But the hope is that we'll get to the point and keep it very focused, because I really want to keep today to the time, because thankfully my daughter has a class after this and she needs this room. So we're just going to go straight to the point, that how do you help others win around you win? How do you help the people in your life win? And at the same time live fulfilled with self-love and nourishment? That's the question that my soulmate and I put out there. To help those around you win, and same time live fulfilled with self-love and nourishment. As we were talking about nourishing the soul, like everything that we're discussing here it's very altruistic, because we're trying to help people have a win-win experience, that everyone should win, in your business circles, in your family experience, in your spiritual experience, in your public experience. It's not just about me becoming famous, about everybody being empowered so they can become the full them. This is the kind of mindset that we want. So, for example, here I put inside the notes of the course that once you've worked out the first 3 stages, like we just mentioned, of our 3 beginning sessions of the course, you can be at a point of knowing and when to give, because you've worked out time management, energy management, when to put all those passions and drives into your daily life. By keeping yourself fully charged, and how this is the tricky part, that comes by living fulfilled with self-love and nourishment. You're empowered and can help others to be empowered. So that's the idea, that once you've done that inner work, and this is something which, if we had an interactive format like on Zoom, you guys would then come back to me and say, question this, question that, but how do I get fulfillment? How do I feel nourished? How do I feel that my life is actually giving me time for self-love? These are the kind of questions you should be asking if we were interacting, or other questions, such a thing. How do I empower another person? What do I use? Is it mean I also have to have a channel online? Do I also have to give classes? Yeah, maybe you do. But the point is that these are valid questions that would be asked if we had the interactive nature. And that's once again why it would build up a high level energy, because I'd be more like, people are really tuning into the concepts and getting the points, and then we'd grow from there. And that's why I ask you again to sign up for the next course in 2 weeks' time. And just as a reminder, I'll put the link below in the link, and it's also on the Instagram. It's at the Midnight Rabbi Inspires profile. There's a link there, because Instagram you have to go to the profile. So you go to the profile and the link's there. On Facebook it's going to be underneath, and also on the podcast in the details. So and YouTube as well, if we manage to get this put up on YouTube at some point. But the real thing to think about is to ultimately learn to rejoice in other people's success. This will be the next goal in life, to really want people's success. This is a very deep idea that Rabbi Nachman taught his student, Rabbi Nosson, that to be happy for the other student's success was the hardest thing. It's like a challenge. We've got the Corona challenge. We've also got the success challenge. That to really truly reach fulfillment and success and to be in a win-win mindset, you have to be a cheerleader for other people. I try to do that online. I mean, anyone who watches this video and has been part, I just saw Michael Ben Melech come up for a second. Anyone who's been joining us in this journey online these past few years has seen that personally I'm a guy who's cheering on everybody. Like, that's why I'm a cheerleader. Like, I believe that the more I cheer on people, the more they'll feel that confidence and the more they'll keep fulfilling their path. And that in itself empowers me more, because we're growing as a community, we're growing as united souls. It's not just about how big my network is or how big my bank account is or how big. No, we're united souls. That's, remember, we're doing everything a united experience. We're all trying to empower each other. And the more we do that, the more we grow, the more they grow, the more we feel fulfilled. Especially if that, once again, is your mission statement. Your goal is to unite with others and to empower other people, to be a giving person, to be proactive. These kind of concepts that we've focused on the previous parts, that already like clicks into place when how you, for example, go through your feed on social media, you're liking other people's growth, other people's accomplishments. You're happy for them, and it's not just on an external just pressing the button or clicking or whatever it is, or sliding or whatever it is. You're feeling it. It's about, because remember, the machine is just, this internet thing, like Al Pi Halacha, if you know what the laws are, Cholomed, you're allowed. Why are you allowed to use your phone? Why are you allowed to email when you're not allowed to write on Cholomed and text? So I've asked Rabbanim about this, big rabbis, people who make big decisions for our people, and they told me because the internet is nothing. It doesn't really, on a certain level, it doesn't actually exist. Like, it's a little bit of imagination. So you said, well, it does exist. Look at all the effects. You just printed this out, or I'm speaking now, people are listening. Okay, it exists, but on a halakhic level, for some reason, the reality is that you're allowed to write emails and texts, even though you're not allowed to write with a pen and paper on Chol Hamoed. So there is a difference. There is a conceptual reality and an actual manifest reality difference between the internet and real life. But the point is that when a person is feeling things, a person's seeing things, a person's speaking and connecting with souls, which go beyond these machines. The machines are just tools to just bridge us on some level. Obviously, there's a limit of what they can accomplish. There's nothing bigger than two souls actually sitting in the room and connecting. That's why I was willing to travel to Dubai, for example, to see my friend. But now I can't go to Dubai. I'm going to talk to my friend here. Or I'm sitting in my room. There's nothing more powerful than a husband and wife connecting in all the different ways they do, and hopefully the positive ones, not beating each other up, but like in a loving, connecting way. So then that power of connection is a tremendous force for us to understand that the soul connection and the oneness can be impactful even on how we experience supporting other people and wishing other people success. That when we see someone's food, we want them to be successful. We see someone's business grow, we pray for their success. And Victor Miller always used to say, when he used to go on walks around his town, he used to go and pray as he stood at each people's houses, as he walked past, and he'd see people that he knew from the neighborhood. He'd pray for their success. Each place he went, like constantly wishing good upon other people. It was a Kohen, I'm also a Kohen. The idea of wishing people blessings, that's the idea. Yivarech Samor Vashalom, or as I say every day in my prayer service and as a Kohen in the Holy Land, I bless Ashek Shamitz V'Savet Sivan Levarech Et Samo Yisrael B'Ahavat, with love, which everyone in the Jewish people in the world should be blessed with love. I have in mind the world also because we're all out there in the world also, so we want the love to spread globally, just like we want Amunah to spread globally, we want unity to spread globally. This is the kind of love we spread out as a Kohen. That's what I do. And we should do that online as well. We should do it. I'm not saying it's always easy. Let's be real. Let's be not in like cuckoo land. It can sometimes, you can be jealous. You see someone seems to have a nicer lifestyle. Like, it would be nice, like I live in Eretz Yisrael in Yerushalayim, very simple life. I don't have a car. I don't have any fancy gold watches like, any famous politicians or famous Hollywood people or anything like that. Very simple person. The phones I have, actually, one of them's a work phone. Two of them are both gifts. The only thing I have that's actually I bought myself is this iPad, and I bought it for my wife, not for me. So I don't actually own anything technologically wise that came through my, you know, through me in terms of like me wanting it. It was like a gift and a business and a this and this reason, that reason. I personally live simply. That's my life. That's how I go. That's how I flow. I'm not in this for money or power or anything like that. But that's the idea that when we connect with other people, we're connecting to souls. We want them to be successful because it gives them blessing, gives them peace of mind. Then when you phone them up, they can do more charity, or they can be more gracious in hosting and giving, and their wife and husband, whichever way around it is, are feeling more relaxed, and the children have more blessing. They can be able to do things. And when it's hard times, like people are saying right now, it seems to be harder. Thank God for me personally. I don't know, somehow, even though with the booking business is very challenging, like trying to book Nissim Black right now, and other artists, people are asking me, Isaac Rubinstein, Nuriel, Rafal Ben. There's a lot of artists, Baruch Hashem, who want to be booked. Joseph Daniel, we're bringing him to the studio through Zoom next week. There's a lot of artists who want to connect into what we're doing. But the point is that I have to understand that right now, like when I was on a call to Dubai, for example, they don't really have the situation where they can even, pay for or even be sure that there'll be guests. Like the whole Pesach program, for example, might be bottled, cancelled. And this is the kind of situation we're in. Whereas every year before that, for the last 13 years, except for last year, Pesach, when the coronavirus hit again as well, all the years before that, for sure there was a Pesach program. Dubai to this place to that place, the whole world. For sure, Dubai being a more open to the Jewish people, well, that's a new thing. But the point is, there should be a program. There should be opportunities for people to meet and relax and rest or whatever. Maybe it's better they're at home. In the end, only Hashem knows. But the point is, on a business level, so it's challenging. But still, somehow, we get by. Somehow we can sit, and the internet, I can afford to pay the bill, that I can do this, and I can afford to, be here. And the idea is that we're wanting it to be a win-win situation. We want each other to win. We want each other to have the ability to succeed, because if I succeed, then I can help all those bands succeed. I can help the speakers who I bring to the studio. We had Gedalia Fence a lot this week, and the week before we had, Simon Jacobson and Mayor Kay, an influencer, and all these people that came through to our studio. It was a win-win relationship. It was collaborative. That's the concept, that we're collaborating, that we're using in this current situation, the online Zoom world, to collaborate, and the YouTube Live and the Instagram Live and the Facebook Live and even TikTok for those little funny little clips. We're collaborating, we're connecting in a way that gives us ability to win and to empower other people. And that was the point Rabbi Nachman said, that we want other people to succeed. We want all these beautiful musicians out there. I just heard of a new woman rapper. I didn't know about her. She's going to be doing something with a lady who we wanted on our United Souls collaboration album, but it didn't work out for whatever reason. But she's managed to collaborate with her. Now I know about there's a woman rapper. What can we do with that? Let's think about it. So this is the idea, like all these opportunities. And I do have our United Souls collaboration album, where I was able to actually, instead of do these large events, which I was hoping for this past year, we did online streaming, and thank God hundreds and hundreds, even thousands of people listened to those tracks on the United Souls and my own personal album. And we'd like to grow that with more and more musicians. Thank God we have a few songs already now for another United Souls #2, and United Souls Key is already out there with a few songs. We'd like to grow this. It's just the beginning stuff, but the point is it should be a win-win mindset. It's collaborative. I want all these artists to have a platform to impact more, to get more of the word out there. And once again, joining up with Jeff Pulver's community, that's the hope, that you guys will sign up for the next, in 2 weeks' time from now, the February the 9th. It will be at 8:30 Eastern, and for everywhere else, like in Israel, it's 3:30 afternoon. An opportunity to empower people, these concepts, and really go to the next stage. But before we do that, let's just go to the second part of the course I wanted to discuss today, which is part 5, which is, we are now in part 3 of the course, not to confuse anybody, 3, 4, 5. But we're basically in the third session of this, and because we're squeezing it all in, we're going to try to do part 5 and squeeze that in before we end off today, even though this part is actually deserves a few hours, maybe a few years of hard work. I remember saying with Daniil Katz once, we were in a car together. He also was a guest in our studio. I was saying to him that Stephen Covey says the hardest thing to do is to listen, to really listen. I'm sure you guys are having a hard time as well. Listening is a challenge, to really listen, but not just listen so you can get your agenda out. That would be the hope of the interactive class, but listen to really understand, to seek to really understand what the other person's saying. So listening to our own soul and the loved ones in our life. That's how my wife and I, my soulmate and I, put it out there. Thank God she's now putting out her content at Teeny Pots 613. That's how you find her on Instagram, Teeny Pots, Tini. Pops, Pops 613. She's a very spiritual lady. She's just starting to put out her content online. I'm very excited for her, and you can go support her on her Instagram account. She's starting to put some really creative, positive energy concepts out there, and she has so much to offer. So listening to our own soul and the loved ones in our life, that is hopefully demonstrating that we should really tune in to the people that we're blessed to be with. The order is very significant. The mitzvah of loving others first comes of loving oneself. Yeah, that's how it goes. In order to be able to love another person in your life, you have to first love yourself. That's a very important foundation. And oneself is one's soul. So we have to value ourselves, and the whole world is created for me. Know our triggers and personal boundaries, so you turn up to our loved ones, recharge somewhat. That's the idea that you can be with people, but you can be really with people. You can be present, energized, like excited, engaged, empowered, interactive, involved, really living there in that moment, really utilizing your time. Well, another time. Facebook, let's do part 3 now. This is fun. Such fun. Excuse me, guys. Let's get this up. Okay. Who would imagine 3 parts in one go? I don't know, maybe it's some internet overload right now. Maybe it's not just here, maybe it's the world. Okay, let's go. Here we do. Funny effects. Thank you, people, for your patience. That's cute. It doesn't work. Okay. We're live. Part 3 on Facebook. Wow. Part 3 for Facebook for today's course. And we had the opportunity to end off today on a high note that we're learning to listen to others. That is the second part of the course that we discussed today. With first part, we discussed to help those around you win, a win-win environment. And the second part is listening to our own soul and the loved ones in our life, to really empower those around you by really tuning into what do they want, what is their need. In order to be able to service people, you have to know what they're looking for. That's a big question. Tim Ferriss puts it out there brilliantly. You have to really know the right question to ask. You can't just assume you got it down just because it seems like that's what people want. You have to really get to know the people around you, the souls around you. And the key is, this is the point that my soulmate brought out, you have to listen to your own soul to be able to then know the others' souls around you. You have to be more soulful in how you understand what life is. That's the concept we mentioned about being present and living life fully and being tuned in to the soul level. That's the kind of mindset that we're looking at in our United Souls course. The more the communication is soulful, the more we get rid of the divisiveness. Like, we haven't even discussed so much politics or any of the distractions, because once you're engaged with people, you're focused, you're tuning in to who they are and the soul aspect. You won't really have time in your mind to want to discuss, other people's issues like the politicians, or you won't waste your time trolling people or anything like that. Or if there are people trolling you, you'll just ignore it because you know that it's just silly. It's just like you're on a different wavelength. Like you're not looking down on them. You just you can have mercy and you can help people. That's what we're doing in this course, to help ourselves and others. But the point is, it's not like in an arrogant way. It's just in a truthful way, that in a sincere way, that you're not engaged in the silliness. You're engaged in the realness and in the soulfulness of the oneness of the united souls of people, of mankind, of humanity. And that's how this course is going to go. I'm going to put again the link into the Facebook and everywhere else where to sign up. And I just end off this point we just started with and ending it with now so soon. We'd have had the full hour, we could have discussed more, but we'll save that for 2 weeks from now. That this will help us focus and listen better, as we won't be so blocked or distracted. That's the point. The more recharged we are, the more we're in touch with ourselves, the more focused and more connection we'll have. And we'll have this realize that every time you get the opportunity to connect with someone, it's a really big opportunity. It's not like some small thing, like just whatever. No, it's really a golden opportunity to bring a life changing moment, and it's on a daily level, and it's on a interpersonal level. It brings us from being dependent to independent to interdependent, as Stephen Covey so cleverly wrote, that we become unified in a way where we're empowering others. We're interdependent, and you realize how every moment is an opportunity to do that. So we're just going to end off because I do have to get somewhere. And like I said, my daughter's coming. But really listen, not just here with your own scripting. Don't put your own narratives. The media is full of it. Don't allow the narrative of the media and other things or other people, even your own narrative, your own scripting, to block your ability to listen to another person. Remove those narratives, remove that script, and really listen to the other person. Listen to your own soul will teach you how to listen to others. That's what we said before. That the key is the united soul level. Once you're on that level, and it is a noble thing, it's something to be proud of, it's something to be positive about, something to be joyful about. You have a soul. It's a godly spark. It's a eternal being and presence. Then you can really learn to listen to the other souls around you. And that was what all my rabbis told me back in the day when I was on the streets up all night in all hours, and drugs and fighting was going on out there in the streets, and they'd come back and they would be covered in blood, or they would be broken, or they were going through drug issues, and we had to get them to rehab. All the different struggles I saw with teenager at risk. And now I have my own teenagers, I see, thank God, like marrying off one, and going through the real life experiences with my own family. And you start to realize that it's all about talking to the soul level. That was what the rabbis told me very wisely. You have to learn to listen, to talk to souls, and to be more in touch with people on a soul level, to know what that voice is, where it's ego or other voices that are coming through, and to listen deeper, listen more intently underneath. And that's something which, therapists or professionals or people who are holy people, as they go up and up, they understand that the ability to remove yourself from the situation and be more in touch with the soul level that is uniting us. It's a very spiritual manifestation. And this week's Parsha, we'll just end off a little bit of Torah. Moshe Rabbeinu, Az Yosha, the whole Jewish people, the whole world was witnessing the splitting of the sea, the power of miracles, the power of oneness, of creation. It was all being revealed. Everything was opened up. The Olam Iskasia, the hidden world, was opened up. The world of souls was opened up. The soul bursts forth into song. And that's the idea when the Messiah comes, Mashiach comes, and the world reaches its unification. We'll all be singing to each other. We won't be in a place of, God forbid, of limitation and of divisiveness. Will be in a place of unification. We'll sing to each other. There'll be harmony. There'll be melody. There'll be music and notes. Like, who doesn't love those musicals? They've been trying to bring them back a little bit in the movie world, but the idea of just, people singing and dancing to each other in this seemingly boring, dry situation, and you come alive with song. Who doesn't love music? Me personally, music accompanies me all the time. It's Shabbos as well, and we don't have the devices. We sing on Shabbos, sing Zmiris, we sing in the shul. The idea that song should be with us all the time. We're constantly singing Az Yoshe, and then we'll sing. We'll sing this ultimate song of unification. That's the kind of song that once we're more in touch with our soul, with Moshe and Aaron, of these two aspects of of being a winner, of winning, we'll sum up, winning, and listening, of Moshe and Aaron, Moshe's Netzach, to victory, win, and then the idea of Aaron, of Hachna, of listening, of Shalom, of peace, of bringing out the good. He brought out the Kovid Asvecha, he brought out the soul of the other people around him. Those two balancing, those two amudim, these two pillars that exist in this part of the course are the very mystical concepts, really, in a deeper level that you understand. And mystically, these all go back to very powerful spheres of Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yisod, Malchus, or these concepts that we're talking about in the first 7 parts of this course, are really these very deep ideas. And we'll have to explain it one day. That's why you guys, you got to pay attention and tune in a bit more, because there's a lot to discuss. Thank God, it's very deep. But the Moshe and Aaron is leading us that out of Egypt. That's the idea of winning, and that's the idea of listening, of really internalizing and becoming more soulful. And those two leaders, Moshe and Aaron, who did both of that, they won for us, and they listened, and they brought shalom. Those 2 leaders are the key for us. Emes and Shalom, peace, truth, and peace are the keys. The peace man, but the truth and peace, not just the love, that got out of our restraints. Everyone should be blessed. Sign up, please, for the next part of the course. It will be in 2 weeks' time, and there'll be many other courses after that. This is just the beginning, guys. And going from private to public victory, from dependence to interdependent, become joined up with everyone around you to unify on a larger scale. But it takes knowing united souls to do that properly. Amen. Thank you. Be blessed, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Share the sun. All the best. Thank you. Facebook guys, I don't know what was going on over here. It's funny. This wasn't working the best it should, but I really appreciate you tuning in. And these 3 parts are just the beginning of a larger picture and course. Thank you so much. All the best. Have a beautiful Shabbat Shira.